Hello, hello, and welcome to Can We Go Live? I'm Braden Lee, your host, and we are joined today with the one, the only, Ash Crocker.
Hello.
Hello, thank you so much for joining us.
Very exciting. Thank you for having me.
No, my goodness, it's our pleasure. I feel very, very privileged that you're even here and that we've managed to get you on a day I know you're so busy.
Make time for you, babe.
Oh, babe. So if you don't know Ash, get on socials and follow the Salon by Ash Crocker official because the vibe is strong, the energy is high, and you could probably learn something. Okay, so AC, you ready for me?
I'm ready. Hit me.
Hit me. So I've got a whole bunch of questions for you. I just think your career has been so fascinating, and I think everything you've learned has really been compressed into the salon. Like you walk in there and it's just like the first time I walked in there, I remember it was like, what on earth? This is incredible. It's an incredible space. So I really want to go through some of your journey, and I would like to start with education. When did your passion for education actually begin to develop? And how does that now manifest in how you teach the next gen?
Well, when I finished my apprenticeship, I actually became the salon educator for the younger apprentices. So that I kind of have always known. It organically grew, but education has always been massive to me. And I think being able to share that is something that's so wonderful. And for me, giving that, like seeing a student have that aha moment, and you being able to change the way someone thinks or have more confidence in a technique is truly, like, I get off on it. I just think it's a wonderful thing to be able to do. So, yeah. So now I obviously educate with L'Oreal. I'm part of their ambassador team. So now we get to travel all around Australia. I have closed my salons on Tuesdays to grow my younger apprentices because I really wanted to give them the time. And being a salon owner and on the floor constantly, I just couldn't fit it in, being on the floor 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So for me, I've closed the salon Tuesdays, and then that's a day where we go through alternate cutting, colour, styling, socials, everything.
That's a pretty big decision to make for the business as well. Like, can we talk about that?
Of course.
Because like some people might listen to that and be like, whoa, that's huge.
Yeah.
What has been some of the maybe like pits and peaks of making that decision, if there have been pits even?
Yeah, well, I think for me, I did have some seniors like who were working with me for a long time, so they were in on Tuesday, and I kind of stepped off the floor on Tuesdays because I'm always traveling and whatever, and I found it hard to kind of multitask the clients. So that was kind of the first like bit where I saw the revenue, kind of could gauge it. And then I looked at what the revenue is per annum of having the salon operating, and I felt like it was more important to put in that energy for the future because long term, that's going to be a bigger reward, and we can't fit everything in. Like I can't travel around Australia teaching, be on the floor 40 hours a week, do my admin, and I had to kind of find a way to make it work.
Yeah, and that's what you arrived at. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's
actually a very like selfless decision but it's also beneficial to the business because this is your active growing day.
Well, you're investing in the future, right?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you've got to people come to you to work for you for a reason. And when we had the apprentice shortage, so many people I was interviewing weren't getting, like they get told that they're going to have training and then they don't. And then I think you've also got to have them in a headspace, like having them in the morning trying to cram it in and then be there for 8-9 hours on the floor. Like, are they going to absorb that? You know what I mean? And sometimes you've just got to go, what's going to work best?
Totally. It's very cool. So just going back now to education again, what's some of the favorite places that maybe you've educated in your time, internationally, Australia, like wherever? What's your number one place that you can think of?
To be really honest, it's so far, like that's such a hard, because I love so many like different places. But for me, it's been Tasmania, because I just feel like they don't get a lot of education, and the hunger that was in the room and the passion. It was cool.
The hunger that was in the room.
Yeah, like just that you could tell that there was no egos. People you could tell hadn't really had that experience. Like they were excited. Whereas sometimes when you go into other cities, we're saturated with, there's so many amazing educators. So for me, it was kind of giving, I don't want to call them small town, but it was kind of that being able to go a bit more rural. L'Oreal, you have like not requirements, but you have your kind of outcome of what you're going to teach. So that one was a red copper kind of class, specifically using ANOA, so the ammonia-free colours. So I kind of had guidelines, and then it was, getting your models and delivering.
Sure, okay.
But even just teaching them how to capture, like things that we know and that it comes so easy to us because we're around it, doesn't. So like even, having your screen lock or being able to use your exposure or little tips that to us is just so common, but to them they were like, wow.
That's quite wild to me. I suppose it goes to show exactly what you said. We overlook those things because we're around it. But yeah, it's interesting.
And there's so much competition up here for us, like especially in Sydney, like you have to show up on social media. You have whereas down there, you might have one salon. There's not 10 in a street or 10 in a kind of 1 kilometre radius.
Do you think that manifests in the techniques?
Oh, absolutely. Because I think also if you've never seen something, to even see it on Instagram or a subscription page, you're seeing it, but it's also edited. So to have that confidence just to go and do that without really seeing it in person, I think is quite scary and can be intimidating.
Let's go back to your salon. I would like to hear a little bit about the backstory of the interior, the inspo. Walk us through it because it is so unique. And again, please go look at it on socials because there is quite nothing like it. So yeah, walk us through it.
Well, I worked for an amazing woman who I won't name, and I saw people leave her salon and in ways they would copy. And I just remember her saying, just do it your own way. Kind of don't copy. If you want to go out on your own, do it your own way. And so when I built the salon, the first bit was just half of the salon. And then after COVID, I doubled it. And then that's when the pink really started to the whole back bit, I had more money because I funded the salon myself. So
that's it. That's very impressive all by itself.
Yeah, so I had the first bit, which was not my style. We made do on the budget. And then after the first year of trade, COVID came, and then we had all the rules, so we couldn't really operate as a team that I had. So I took an apartment behind the salon and I gutted it, and then we made we doubled the space. So that's when the pink kind of came into play. I really started to have an identity of what I wanted my business to be. And I wanted it to be a retreat. There's so many, as a woman, and I know that we do men as well, but majority women. And for me, hair salons is the most time you spend in there as a woman to maintain your look. And I wanted it to be a retreat. I didn't want people to be wanting to get out, feeling pressured. So our location was free parking, which was really big coming from Paddington for me. And then, yeah, I think the colour pink that we have is very soothing. It's actually a really relaxed, I'm pretty sure that I researched some there is it is a soothing colour. And then I guess from there I had an amazing interior stylist, Gemma, and I kind of had really strong visions and mood boards, and we made it come to a reality.
It makes me feel like I'm in Palm Springs or something.
Yeah, Ibiza, there's a reference photo. I actually just bought the image of the Ibiza hotel where it was all lines and colour blocking of pink. So there was a bit of that. Then when I renovated the front to make it look like the back, because I loved it so much, it kind of almost was a bit like Budapest hotel / a doll's house. That's how I kind of...
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. How do you reckon it impacts the client experience? Sorry, impacts is probably not the right word. How do you think it amplifies the client experience?
Well, they walk in and they go, wow.
Yeah.
You know, so straight away,
Like I did.
yeah, but straight away when someone walks in, wow, and they see something beautiful, there's already a confidence there. Like they know that I look at every single detail, from our custom drink bottles to our menus, like everything's so thought out. So if the back end's that thought out, like the hair's going to be good. That's how I think a client would look at that.
Particularly for a new client as well, because you do those welcome packs too.
Yeah, we do a custom welcome pack to every new client.
What's the reaction when they get those?
I've never had this before.
Yeah,
So
nice.
This is so nice. Yeah, I've never. Yeah.
It's like a thank you for being here. Like we appreciate you.
And also remember us.
Yeah.
You know, it's also like it is a gift to them, but it also is something that they're going to look at that. And if they're like, we had 4 American girls in on Saturday and they were so blown away. And then we gave them the pack, and then one said, oh, I'm moving here and this has to be my salon. Like, I've never had this experience before. So it's like creating that memory, you know?
That must be so nice for you as
it's the best.
the head of the ship to hear that. And tell me, like, how does that manifest in your team? Because they must be very proud to be able to work in a space like that as well.
Definitely. I think for them, it's proud, and also to have that strong identity and to see clients walk in, because a lot of my staff have never worked in other salons. So I've had first-year apprentices who are now been with me, or a really strong casual team. And I think for them to see clients kind of be wowed makes them even happier, you know, because it's like, it's pretty. And salons are hard to keep beautiful. Like, it's a lot of work.
Totally. It must motivate them as well.
Absolutely.
So for the salon owners at home that are watching this, we know that finding apprentices is, an issue in the industry at the moment, retaining them as well. What's your advice to them to making sure that they're getting the best, or even attracting that next gen?
Well, I think it's about, I've worked in salons where apprentices are kind of the bottom of the food chain. And my head, I don't think like that. For me, they're our backbone, and we can't do as much as we can without having the apprentices. So I think it's about respecting them, and also they're coming for a reason. So not training an apprentice, not creating that environment where they're going to get something out of it and they're just going to give. I think you've got to create that two-way street of respect.
Can you tell us more about maybe what that two-way street looks like? So obviously when you say them giving, to me that registers as being stuck at the basin all day.
Yeah, and also, clean. No, you as an apprentice, you start off cleaning. There's opening and closing the salon. You don't really start to really get into their hair or touch clients or do your blow dries. For me, I see that at around second-year apprentices. So it's that first year is when they're going to be challenged the most. So it's about them getting education, then seeing the vision out of that kind of duty cleaning and everything like that. Getting the... Yeah.
So in your space, in that first year, it's all education and building them up as a...
It all depends. An apprentice can go on the floor, say they would start off doing blow dries, but it all is about their skill set, and I would never put that pressure on them. So there's no pressure on when to get on the floor or whatever. If you're, I have a second year now that is incredible at balayage. She can do keratin, she's doing blow dries, root tints, but that's because she's already there.
Yeah.
And I have a new first year who naturally is so gifted, so her progression might be different, but it's about looking at them as individuals, but also showing them the journey.
And letting them, from the sounds of it, pick their own journey as well and giving them the space to do so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Fascinating.
At our Christmas party, one of my girls actually did a speech, which was so cute. And she said in that speech, thank you for giving, this isn't a job, and you've basically given us an environment to be ourselves and celebrate our wins. And I think it was so beautiful. But that's the thing. I think, sometimes as owners, we look at seniors because of the KPIs and everything like that. But the apprentices are going to be your longevity if you give them that love.
Yeah, I hear you. It's really, really beautiful. That must have been a special moment.
Oh, yeah, I cried.
Did you?
Yeah,
Bless
I cried.
you.
I cried. It was beyond adorable.
Yeah. How lovely. It's like a full circle moment. It all really comes back around and you're like, wow, I built this.
Well, and you know, what's your purpose? And when I sat down with you and I worked out my purpose is that younger generation, to see those words come out of them means the world, because I'm doing what I wanted to do.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
Let's zoom back out now and chat about marketing. I know it's every stylist's favourite topic to talk about.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah, totally.
I kind of want to hear from you what are the biggest lessons that you've learned around marketing. You know, particularly recently, things are changing so much. Even at the industry, tech is changing, but the industry is really getting a lot of other industries beginning to pour into it. So, what are the lessons and biggest changes you've noticed?
Well, I think consistency is key when it comes to marketing and having your brand vision and being authentic to that. I also think it's really important to outsource. I think if you know, we can't wear every hat, even though sometimes we want to. And I think it's about, you know, reaching out to people like you, reaching out to social media mentors, reaching out to whatever's going to benefit your business, you know, and then also utilizing tools, knowing ChatGPT, knowing how you can minimize your workload, you know, like knowing things like that now. You know, my EDMs take so much less time because it's kind of like you can feed your ChatGPT and then I spend more time creating the content behind it and the imagery, you know?
Correct. Yeah. I suppose the question is, what takes the most time? And is there a tool that can do it for me?
Is that a...
Not one that you need to answer right now.
God.
Maybe you at home can think about that.
I was like, I feel like you nailed that one. But yeah, it's kind of like, you know, because I think it also changes. Like Instagram, for me, say 5 years ago, was about like your followers and everything like that. Whereas now, you know, my account got hacked when we got to 10,000 followers, which was such a blow. And now it's crazy because my insights are like 150,000 people watching our page. So it doesn't really matter anymore about your likes and your follows, it's your engagement.
Yeah.
Whereas that wasn't that big before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of followers that you have is like a vanity metric.
It's nothing really anymore.
It doesn't matter.
No.
I think a lot of people still get quite hung up on that followers count, but like as a brand, I can run a report on any influencer and it gives you a full output of actually how many of those followers are engaged with them. It also tells you how much of that audience is a suspicious audience. Like if someone's bought a follower, for example, like
yeah, how good.
It's incredible.
But see that, like back in the day when Instagram kind of took off, it was just about your followers.
Exactly.
Whereas even that's changed. So it's like getting help, like say from Ash, where it's like, you know, what message are you trying to give? And is your message reaching the right people? I think is now more, you know.
For sure. Shout out to you, Ash. Just veering now from marketing into, I suppose, branding. Let's talk a little bit about the reasons behind the salon, like the actual naming of the salon and the branding. Because the branding's almost like neon, like it reminds me of like neon lights, you know?
Yeah.
So talk to us about that. What was the inspo?
So basically, when I first went out on my own, one of my clients who was amazing helped me with the first website and the kind of first branding. And she was like, your name needs to be in it. And I was like, oh, I didn't really want to. So the salon, because I kind of wanted people to be like, oh, where'd you get your hair done? The salon. Like, you know, so that's kind of where the salon part came out. And then I did a rebrand with the renovation, and I had an amazing guy, Toby, who works heavily in fashion. And we did have a neon sign when I first opened the salon. And
did you?
Yeah. And it
See, I caught onto it.
But it was, and it was kind of that I wanted it to look like the name, but then also be able to use in like print and things like that. So like, you know, our gift wrapping paper is like, it's quite linear, so you can't really tell what it is. We're getting robes made with that as a fabric. So I wanted something that could be wearable. So that's where the kind of lines and everything came in because, yes, it's a strong name, but then when you kind of overlay that and kind of play with it, it's also a cool fabric.
Yeah, cool. Love that.
Yeah.
It's very awesome.
But I think it's also reaching out to people and making sure, like the first person I worked with, not my client, but the first person I did for the design just wasn't understanding me, you know, and originally I wanted like this, like kind of Beverly Hills Hotel, like pink and green, and it just wasn't getting executed. So I think it's, you know, working with a graphic designer that sees your vision and then also not stopping.
That's really important as well.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Don't surrender.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yeah.
No matter how annoying you might be coming across.
No, like if the vendor that you're working with isn't picking up what you're putting down, then it's probably not the right vendor for you. Like just because like someone offers branding or websites, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're the right fit for you and your vision, right?
Exactly. Whereas I really needed someone with that kind of editorial fashion background. And then working with Toby just made a world of a difference.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
It's cool. That's really awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Pleasure.
So you work with a lot of celebrities. I think one of the, so I've got two questions for you. The first one is, again, looking at the next gen, what advice would you have for someone that maybe would like to follow in those footsteps? So
my advice to people wanting to do something like that is to say yes, which means, you know, you're going to be mentored by somebody. You're not just going to walk in and start doing celebrities. So, you know, I was very grateful to be mentored by amazing hairdressers that I worked with. And I said yes. I volunteered my time on weekends. I did test shoots. I was around those people. It takes a lot, you know, and I think the biggest thing as well is not treating a celebrity like an object. I think that so many people just want stuff from the celebrities. They want the engagement. They want to use their imagery. They want to, you know, they want to use their name to get higher up. And for me, I don't do that. So even on our social media, we don't overly post a lot of our celebrities. Everyone pays and they come in just like anybody else. So my biggest thing is volunteer your time to get the skill set. And then also treat them like humans because they are.
You would think that it's a no-brainer.
But these stories that I've heard, like someone will do someone's makeup once and then they'll be like plastering their face all over their social media. Why would that celebrity go back to that person?
Yeah.
Like there's no trust. There's no, it's just they want to gain.
I'm starting to see a common theme because we recently interviewed another stylist who has worked with celebrities. She said the exact same thing. Like you just have to say yes. So I see this pattern forming here, which is really fascinating.
And I think, like, you know, obviously everyone should get paid. I'm not saying like people should just work for free. But, you know, 20 years ago when I started out, to get on those Vogue shoots, to get on those, you weren't going to get paid an assistant day. And I think that sometimes we've got to have that respect that we're sometimes volunteering our time, but we're coming away with a different skill set. So again, it's that give and take.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, and I think sometimes there's this whole new energy, which I think is great, but I think sometimes there's an expectation to always, A, be paid or, you know, you deserve this or something like that. And I think when we're starting out, we're also learning off somebody else.
For sure.
So I think there has to be that respect for that person sharing their craft.
And my second question for this was what is or who is like a favorite project that you've worked on?
One of my faves was honestly Jess Mowboy. I've done her hair for I think nearly 12 years, but it was when I turned her copper because she obviously is one of the most amazing, beautiful women, but she morphed. And seeing her take on a different identity, like from that hair, and it gave her a different edge, and it was my favorite. Like, so it was that. And then when I did her hair for New Year's Eve, there was a video that came up that she'd obviously done a pre-recording, and they asked her what was her favorite part of, I think, what was it, 2023? Oh, yeah, I can't remember which year. And she said that, like going copper.
Oh, really? That's so
and
cool.
for me, I was like sitting in the green room and I was like, how good?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it was like hair does that to so many people. But sometimes when you look at people at the top, you already think that they're confident, everything like that. So to see hair give someone that spark in a different way was probably one of my favourites.
All of these moments that you keep getting that just surface is like a testament to the culture that you're building and the skill set that you bring to your team. It's very cool.
Oh, thank you.
No, you must be like, see those moments and just feel very proud.
Yeah, I've had a, yeah.
My last question for you, AC, dear AC. Tell us, what have been some of the biggest pivotal moments of your career? I know it's been a long career, but if you can pick like one moment that stands out for you, what would that be?
I think for me, something that I've been really proud of is last year going on to the L'Oreal Paris Fashion Week. So having an Australian crew in Paris, it was all Aussies, and the energy, Scott Sloan directed it, and that was a proud moment because I think it was amazing for the brand, being a French brand, having an Australian crew over there.
Yeah.
So that for me was like a standout kind of proud moment.
What was that like, being there on the ground?
Oh, it was amazing. We did Christopher Esba. The French just do everything so well. Like we had croissants backstage. It was
I love a croissant.
It was so good. But it was, you know, we got to go to the L'Oreal headquarters. It was that moment of like, wow, you know, because sometimes when you're in Australia, we are a little island. So it's like to be there and speaking to the main people that run a brand that you're so passionate about was incredible.
Everybody had like some good after parties as well.
Oh yeah, we definitely let our hair down. We're hairdressers. We know how to party.
Now you've got a gift for us here that you wanted to show off. Let's have a look at it.
Okay, so this was like a little journey. So last year, feels so weird to talk about last year, doesn't it?
It does.
It's like
2025 already.
I know. So I entered, it was 20 years in the industry for me and 5 years as a salon owner. So I wanted to, at the beginning of the year, I really wanted to create a Colorist of the Year shoot. Unfortunately, my dad was diagnosed with cancer, so my year was very bumpy. And I am very proud to have actually done it because this was like my escapism when I was down looking after him. And I didn't win, which is fine. I made the final, but I also got editor's pick.
Yeah.
So that to me is a proud moment.
Such a beautiful shot. I'm so sorry about your dad as well.
Oh, thank you. But I think that what I learned from it was, you know, hair, like when you live and breathe hair, it can be your escapism, you know. So for me, it was like to have images that I can kind of look back on in time as a journey. I think, you know, we're so lucky to have something that we love to do.
It kind of encapsulates like such a period of time and probably a lot of emotions as well.
A lot of emotion. You know, my niece is 4 years old. She was like pretending to straighten some of those hairs. Like it was, it was a full family affair. There was wigs hanging on all the clothesline. But yeah, no, that's a journey for me where I think, you know, sometimes we can get so caught up with our load and we've just got to go, what makes you happy?
Yeah.
And that's kind of my message for that.
And so this is really, it was like a catharticism at its highest form, right? You're having all of these crazy emotional roller coasters and you're just pouring it into this
100%.
collection.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Thank you. So yeah, I think to get the editor's pick was an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah, and now you have this trophy.
Yeah.
Love that for you, Ash.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Oh, pleasure.
And thank you for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure having you here today.
It's been fun.
And that's all we've got for today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching this on Instagram, make sure you follow us on Spotify or hit subscribe on YouTube and stick around. We will see you next week or maybe the week after. I don't know. Depends when the schedule is, but I'll see you very soon.
I'll see you.
I'll see you around.